Alright, first things first, of course, the top news in the country right now, ladies and gentlemen, is the demise of the Member of Parliament for Emarwa Dikir, Honorable Ole Kisiria Ngeno, who is also famously known as Ngong. Now, the Member of Parliament from Narok County succumbed last evening to a plane crash, which is actually the top story in the country right now, and may his soul really rest in peace. Our condolences goes to the family of the Member of Parliament and of course the supporters and entirely the Kenyans who come from that particular part of the country, from Emarwa Dikir, in this difficult time. Of course, it's very, very painful to lose a close one as a relative, as of course a member of parliament, and the people that he was supporting was large from reports and responses that you can see from the social media. So he's a big loss, big loss to the community. His demise is a big loss. A lot of people have reacted, including the number one in the land, the president of the country. We have seen reactions also from other leaders from that part of the country, including Honorable Sudi. We have also seen reactions from the DCP leader Rigathi Gachagua, and leaders are still, sending in their condolences through their social media platforms. Now, we want to delve into this story and more. And if this is the first time that you're interacting with our channel, The People's Mirror, then please just hit the subscribe button so that stories like this do not escape you, but also so that you aid in our growth. We still have this target of hitting 5,000 subscribers within this month of March that we have just begun. And so if you hit the subscribe button, then those numbers start to come down rapidly. We are at around 4,183, so it's a target that we believe we'll achieve. Now, you see this chopper crash at Mosop, that is the name of the place where it took place. Let me know in the comment section the actual term. Is coming in at a time where the nation has witnessed a lot of this in the recent past. In the years of 10, 15 to 20 years, helicopter crash has been a norm in the Kenyan Republic, and it has taken down a lot of reputable leaders. From this section of the country specifically, that is from the Kalenjin community entirely, that is on 10th June 2008. 10th June 2008, there was also an helicopter crash that claimed the life of course, the then Minister of Roads, Kipkalia Kones, and of course also Lona Laboso. And this was a very, very painful loss then, because of the loss of the minister and that top vibrant politician, Honorable Lona Laboso, and it was also as a result of the plane crash. Now, that was in 2008. 4 years after 2008, you come to 2012. Now, on the same day, 2012, funny enough, on the 10th of June 2012, the same exact day, but now in 2012, there was also another helicopter crash. And while the Ma community was, of course, in mourning again after the loss of George Saitoti, the Luo community were also mourning Orwa Ojode. The two were actually heads of ministry. So it was a minister and a deputy minister, and they succumbed to an helicopter, of course, plane crash also in Ngong forest when they were bound for some harambe in Diwa. Funny enough, that was also on a Sunday. So that was on a Sunday. Same exact date, same exact month, but 4 years apart from Kipkalia Kones and Lona Laboso's loss. Now, those four leaders aside, if you were to just do an internal look of the country beyond George Saitoti, of course Joshua Orwa Ojode, Lona Laboso, Kipkalia Kones, it's still very, very ripe and very fresh in the minds of Kenyans that around the Marakwet place a few months ago, just into a year right now, we also lost General Francis Ogola to a helicopter crash. So this helicopter crash thing is something that has now claimed the life of a lot of Kenyans. And today that we are mourning Kirkit Ole Sariangeno, or alias Ngong, the Member of Parliament for Emarwa Dikir, we are just also remembering the souls that we have lost in this republic as a result of the same fate. Now, the nation is remembering the Member of Parliament for Marwa Dikir in divided bits. There's a section of the nation that remembers him very fondly, saying that he was a defender of the people. And some section of the videos we are showing now are part of our screen. You can see he was informing the police to get off or stop killing people around the Mau forest area. So he's remembered partially as a defender of the people, someone who stood with his community when the community needed him. He's also remembered as someone who was opening up opportunity for a lot of people in the community. I'm told he started Kalenjin Festival, which was actually a very big deal locally. And even in radio stations, people sending in their condolences. A lot of musicians have said that Mheshimiwa reminded them that, of course, with talent, you also had an opportunity within the Kalenjin space. So he's remembered in that aspect like that. Now, the Mau forest thing is also a very sensitive topic, mostly for Narok County and specifically its constituency, Marwa Dikir, because here is where some of the PEV, post-election violence victims of 2007-2008 went to live. And while they went there was also historically the Ma community that were living along this particular Mau forest. Now, when the Mau forest issue started coming up and they were being evicted for conservation of the forest, it went beyond the people that were relocated as a result of the PEV, and it also interfered with the livelihoods of the communities then. So it's always been a very sensitive issue, mostly for the Maasai community. It goes beyond what I'm saying, of course, but that's just some of the touchlines about it and about the whole Mau stuff. And so he was a defender of the community. At one point, even when the police were actually firing at the community, he went, confronted the police by himself, and he asked them why they were actually shooting at the people. And that video is actually circulating a lot in the social media space. Just him is being remembered as a defender. Now, while this is happening, a section of Kenyans are also remembering him as one person who vowed that he would do everything in the 2027 political space to ensure that the power that they had captured from President William Ruto was protected for President William Ruto. So there is also that particular reaction from the Twitter space where people say, okay, remember this guy, but also he's not so much a saint, because there are statements that he made that, of course, people are not okay with. Now, other than that, Natembeya has also made statements of how he once protected this guy from the hands of the government. And so in this particular part of the episode, ladies and gentlemen, we just want to play for you some of these news bites as we remember the late Member of Parliament. Now, first, I want to start with where certain sections of Kenyans feel like because he stood that he was going to defend President William Ruto's re-election at whatever cost, then this is Paul, and we are showing it in our screen. He's saying, this is Johanna threatening our democracy. God has dealt with him accordingly. There will be no body viewing. He's been reduced to nyama choma. Mungu amechoma kiburi na madharau, and he won't see 2027. Very, very hard say sensitive replies that are not necessary. And the video that is attached, this is what the Member of Parliament was saying.
Kwa hivyo naibu wa rais ujue, sisi tutalinda hii serikali kama vile mtu analinda bibi yake. Tutalinda kama vile mtu analinda watoto yake. Tutalinda na nguvu yote na mali yetu yote. Hiyo maneno mnasemanga Ruto must go, sio kitu mzuri. Na sio ati tu kwa sababu ni neno. Upuzi kidogo tu ati huyu must go, huyu must go. Hii nchi ni yetu. Na tutailinda na damu na jasho. Hatuwezi kubali watu waharibu nchi ati kwa sababu ya siasa. Siasa iko 27. Kama unataka kiti ujipange, 27 ukuje. Iko 32. Kama uwezane na 27 iko ya 32. Kama uwezane ya 32 iko ya 42. Ngoja sisi huko. Lakini hii yenye tumeiweka kwa mfuko tutaichunga kwa hali na mali.
Yes,
kwa hivyo naibu wa rais ujue, sisi tutalinda hii
Yeah, so that is one of the videos that the guy is circulating in the social media, to the contrary of the public opinion, saying that of course as we mourn him, we also need to remember certain statements that he made, which actually if you listen to is not so bad, because he's just talking about defending it for themselves. He's saying Kenyan yao. But beyond that, there are a lot of sincere, honest speeches that he has made that are being congratulated. Like at one point, the member of parliament went on an entire 4-minute speech plus, and he was talking about removal of these extra benefits to members of parliament and removal of these extra benefits to the CSS, saying that it was only an extra burden on the Kenyan people. And of course, as a vocal member of parliament, this particular issue hit very hard. And so this is just one of the honest speeches that he made in terms of the benefit of the entire nation, and not just of his community, that we feel like you should listen to as part of remembering his legacy.
Kila weekend naibu wa rais, magari yenye mawaziri na ma-PS wanatumia, unapata waziri mmoja ako na magari 5 kubwa. Hata wengine wameacha magari, wameanza kutembea na juu, na hiyo yote ni pesa ya hawa raia. Kwa hivyo sisi tunataka kushukuru rais, na tunataka kuambia rais reduce mpaka Passat. Kama waziri hataki kutembea na Passat, ajiuzulu aende nyumbani. Mkakuja bunge, mkasema waja pia tutoe kitu kidogo kwa wajumbe. Mheshimiwa naibu wa rais, tulishukuru sana. Unajua kuna pesa mingi sisi kama wajumbe tunatumia kutembea. Kila weekend ukipiga simu kwa mjumbe, uko wapi? Anakuambia niko Singapore. Next weekend ukimpigia simu, uko wapi? Ako South Africa. Next weekend ukimpigia anasema niko niko America. Mnafanya nini? Benchmarking. Mheshimiwa naibu wa rais, hii kutembea nyinyi toeni. Tukae nyumbani. Kwani tumetembea, hata mimi mwenyewe nimetembea over 50 countries. Lakini ukienda Murwadikir hakuna hata kitu moja nimewahi toa huko nitengeneze degree.
Says the president should actually cut on all those allowances, saying the people, the members of parliament, of course, move along, including MCAs. An MCA, for example, will tell you that is in Turkey, and you wonder what is an MCA doing. Sorry, what is an MCA doing in Turkey? And so he says there is really no need of this extra finances, and this is one of the speeches that are being remembered of him. Now, away from this, there is more interesting stories that are now coming into the limelight because of his death that otherwise would have not come into the limelight. And one of them is the exposés that now Honorable Natembeya has made around the arrests that were made on this very gentleman that we have now lost, Honorable Ngeno, and the intentions that had been planned then to sodomize him and actually harm him prior to his death. Now, these are very shocking revelations, but they are part of media bites that maybe have existed before, but no one had listened to. Until now that he's dead, they are all coming out. At this particular point, he says that there was some higher rank that had actually authorized for Ngeno to be sodomized. It's a very fierce story. Remember very well, towards the end of the video, of course, we will show you a video where Ngeno was also going contrary to certain people in power. Now, Natembeya talks about some times back before he was governor. Now, this is still the time that, of course, the other regime was in power, and it's not about the current regime. And in this particular part of our episode, we just want to play for you that particular expose so that you let us know what you think and who Natembeya is talking about that was part and parcel of the plan to have the member of parliament sodomized, that otherwise, if Natembeya had not intervened, then a lot of harm would have been done to him.
Kijana ambaye aliwao juzi anaitwa Ojwang, Albert Ojwang. Albert Ojwang amekufa katika mikono ya serikali. Maana walimtoa nyumbani kwa wazazi wake na kwa bibi yake alikuwa mtu mhai. Lakini amefika kule anarudishwa nyumbani akiwa amekufa. Sababu ni kwamba alikuwa ameandika some post kwa social media who senior government officials. Again, freedom of expression. Now what I want to say here ni hiki. mimi nimekuwa kwa serikali na mara nyingi watu wanataka kukupunish but they've got no evidence. So what they do, watakuwa kule korokoroni alafu wakuitia watu. Wanasema they are fellow suspects. They bring you wale watu ambao wanaitwa hardcore criminals. Alafu mnafungiwa pale ndani the whole night. I'm not saying that's what happened to Ojwang. But wakati nilikuwa county commissioner kule Narok, kulikuwa na mjumbe mmoja wa Emurua Dikir. Bado ni mjumbe anaitwa Johanna Ngeno. Ngeno alikuwa anasumbua sana. Tukitoa watu kwa Mau, anakuja analeta fujo. Siku moja akaja akapata askari wameka roadblock kwa barabara, those spikes. Alikuwa na MCA mmoja kutoka Narok South anaitwa Langat. Akachukua hizo vitu akatupa. Askari wakamshika wakamleta Narok. Wakati alifika wa Narok, mimi nikauliza maisisi ya hiyo alikuwa anaitwa Kariuki. Huyu mheshimiwa bila amekuja hivi anashtakiwa na makosa gani? Akasema gavana huyu jamaa tulikuwa tumemshika tupunguze ile mambo ya incitement kule. Bado tulikuwa tunataka kumwacha, lakini kuna watu wametoka DCI headquarters wametake over this case. Kwa hivyo yuko kwa mikono yetu tena. Kufikia round 6 kuna jamaa anaitwa Patrick Ndutu. Patrick Ndutu that time alikuwa chief administrative secretary katika ofisi ya rais. He was my boss. Akaanza kunipigia simu akisema, commissioner please, wacha mheshimiwa atoke asilale hapo ndani. And I knew they were related, maana mheshimiwa Ngeno ni kama ameoa msichana wa Ndutu. Mimi nikajaribu kuambia jamaa patia mheshimiwa free bond ama cash bail, asilala hapa hata kama utamhitaji atakuja. Jamaa akakataa. Akasema hii mikono iko kwa hii mambo iko mikono ya wakubwa. So kufikia saa 1 jioni na nusu giza, mimi naambiwa na askari mmoja hapa ati kwamba ati kuna watu wameletwa usiku wanataka kufungwa pamoja na huyu mheshimiwa na wamfanyia mambo mabaya sana. They were going to sodomize him. Wameleta jamaa ati anafika pale anaambia mheshimiwa ati mbona ananuka kama mwanamke usiku. So mimi I called that CCI nikamwambia CCI, this is the report I have gotten. We are the people who are in charge here. Kama ni haya maneno mtaka kufanyia mheshimiwa, I'm going to call a press conference hii and I'm going to expose you. So akasema what we do, because in amri imetoka juu, I cannot release this guy. We agreed ya kwamba we create a scenario kwamba huyu mheshimiwa akikaa hapa kuna watu wanajimobilize kuja kuvamia police station. Kwa hivyo I cannot sleep here. Tukamchukua tukamweka kwa gari tukampeleka Nakuru. Yeye huwa analia kwamba nilipelekwa Nakuru usiku, walikuwa wanataka kuniua. But we were saving him from that humiliation and that disgrace, because huyo mheshimiwa angefanywa mambo mabaya sana hiyo usiku. Now huyo Ojwang kama hangekufa, his story will have remained untold. Maana angefanywa mambo mabaya, hiyo vitu yote afanyiwe, ikifika asubuhi anawekwa kwa gari na anaambiwa ukienda kuongea tena muandike tena, we are not going to kill you. Ojwang angeenda nyumbani, hagewahi kuongea tena, angenyamaza. Yule
This offer
jana mbaya aliwao juu sana.